Well, United Airlines is trying to pull itself out of a public relations nightmare. Images of security officers dragging a passenger from a United flight have sparked outrage around the world.
The airline CEO issued a third statement Tuesday, apologizing to the passenger for what he called a truly horrific incident. CNN aviation correspondent Renee Marsh has the latest.
Just kill me.
As United Airlines passenger David Dow receives treatment for his injuries at a Chicago hospital, the airline is tailspinning into a public relations disaster after video of Dow being dragged from a Sunday night flight went viral.
Oh my God!
The airline first said the flight was overbooked, then changed its language Tuesday to oversold. United did not respond to multiple attempts to clarify the change. From the White House,
clearly, when you watch the video, it is troubling to see how that was handled.
To late night TV.
The CEO of United released a statement via Twitter. This is what CEO tweeted. This is an upsetting event to all of us here at United. I apologize for having to re-accommodate these customers. He said re-accommodate. This is like we re-accommodated El Chapo out of Mexico. That is such sanitized, say nothing, take no responsibility, corporate BS speak. I don't know how the guy who sent that tweet didn't vomit when he typed it out, but...
And on social media, United Airlines is feeling the sting. Not just for the violent removal of the passenger, but the airline's lack of compassion. It took 2 days before CEO Oscar Munoz apologized directly to Dow, who had been left bloodied after the incident. In a statement Tuesday, Munoz said, quote, I deeply apologize to the customer forcibly removed and to all the customers aboard. No one should ever be mistreated this way. The new statement, a far cry from the email the CEO sent to employees Monday, defending the flight crew and calling the passenger, quote, disruptive and belligerent. And in Munoz's very first statement, he only apologized for having to re-accommodate customers. Although it is legal for airlines to deny boarding to passengers if it's overbooked, lawmakers are also calling foul. Governor Chris Christie is calling on the Trump administration to suspend the federal regulation that permits airlines to overbook flights and remove passengers as a result. Meanwhile, members of Congress are calling for the Department of Transportation to launch an investigation. Right now, the agency is only reviewing the incident. The video has breached borders, trending on China's version of Twitter, generating more than 100 million views. Potentially harmful to the airline's bottom line. China is a huge growth market for the airline. The airline CEO pledged a, quote, thorough review of how the airline handles oversold flights and how it works with law enforcement. He said that the review would be completed by April 30th. Renee Marsh, CNN, Washington.
Well, for more, Eric Rose joins us here now. He's a crisis and reputation management expert and a partner with the strategic communications firm EKA. Eric, good to see you.
Eric.
Good to see you. Answer me this. In the years to come, when the universities are teaching the public relations experts and the crisis managers of the future, will this United Airlines case be a textbook case of everything a company should not do when it comes to dealing with a PR crisis?
It will be. It'll be just like a Takata airbag story. It'll be like Exxon Valdez. It'll be along those lines. It's not going to be the Tylenol story that everyone looks to. First of all, the CEO is actually a very good communicator, which is shocking because in this case, he's not doing a very good job of communicating. We've seen misstep after misstep. There's kind of a rule in PR. When you're in a hole, stop digging. And they are continuing to dig themselves in a hole.
Let's pick up on the CEO and the statements he's put out.
Yes.
The first one was just sent this into another level of uproar. He did a second one, and then the third one, which everyone's saying, okay, and we have that. We want to share that with our viewers, that third statement, which you have, Eric. Walk us through it, because as far as you're concerned, and here's part of it, he said, I continue to be disturbed by what happened on this flight, and I deeply apologize to the customer forcibly removed and to all the customers aboard. No one should ever be mistreated this way. You say this third statement isn't much better.
I'd fire the person who wrote that for the CEO. There's one line in there, so it obviously was carefully scripted, and it talks about no one should ever be mistreated this way. So it begs the question, how should they be mistreated?
Yeah.
It shows an attitude towards the customers? Or
It shows
passengers?
it shows that they're not really they're not thinking this through, and every word matters. Every action the CEO takes right now to heal and get people to move on from this is the right thing. We should be focusing on the things that he did do that were right. A thorough investigation, walked back as much as he could the fact that he put the blame onto the customer, the doctor. He started to do the right things, but he hasn't done anything immediately to reach out to all the other passengers who were affected, who were traumatized by it. I mean, it would have been a very easy PR move for them to do today, say, I'm going to give everyone on that flight free vouchers. I'm personally going to apologize and have an executive from United Airlines call every single person and apologize. That would have got out, even if they never announced it.
Okay, I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff on social media, but United is also now a punchline
They are.
for many of the late-night TV shows here in the U.S. Look at Jimmy Kimmel from the other night.
We're United Airlines. You do what we say, when we say, and there won't be a problem. Capiche? If we say you fly, you fly. If not, tough.
Look at what you did!
Give us a problem, and we'll drag your ass off the plane. And if you resist, we'll beat you so badly, you'll be using your own face as a flotation device.
I mean, there's been a ton of them out there, but when you get to this point in a crisis, is there anything that United can actually do to turn this around?
Continue to do the right thing. They are a punchline. I've seen probably 10 or 11 different memes out there.
But there's no dramatic move they can make at this point.
There isn't. They will get beyond this. I mean, thank God for another spokesperson today who kind of took them off the headlines. It's not a good day for spokespersons with Sean Spicer. So there's going to be another event that will take our focus away from this. They have to move on, but they haven't thoroughly done the right thing yet. And it's amazing for a company and a CEO who intrinsically knows how to do the right thing.
How hard is this going to hit the brand long term, especially in the era of social media where these images live on forever?
Right.
And every time you put in United, this is going to come up.
Well, it's going to come up, and I think that, as you said, it's going to be a lesson for people in colleges relative to crisis management. But I think where they have to be careful is how are they also going to handle it, not in the U.S., but overseas, China and Asia. There was a little hint that this was racially motivated. I don't believe it was. I think that there was some problems with the way it was handled. But the fact is that people believe it's racially motivated makes it racially motivated. And then I think ultimately, and I do a lot of work with law enforcement, they're going to be looking at how law enforcement handled this. How did you take what was essentially a business dispute and create a law enforcement action? He wasn't a disruptive passenger until they created the disruptive passenger.
You know, the issue of China is interesting because this, you know, United has a lot of business coming from China, and this has been picked up on Weibo, which is basically the Chinese version of Twitter, as a racist act. So from United's point of view, is there anything they can do right now to end that perception in China, or is this something you just have to let it die down?
No, they have to do something in China. They have, there, as you've mentioned, the views of this in China are in the tens of millions now. We've seen it affect their stock price. It was a bump.
1% down today,
it'll come back. That's not. But they have to reassure the Asian market. They're going to have to do advertising. Okay. They're going to have to do advertising campaigns in Asia. They're going to have to reach out to the Asian market. They're going to have to find Asian experts to help advise them on what to do with the Asian market.
Because there's a specific culture too with China, which is different to the United States.
Exactly. And so I think that they have to understand that this is a worldwide problem for their brand. They have a brand reputation issue here that is not going to be solved overnight. And putting out letters to people that are disingenuous to begin with, and then trying to do the right thing and still getting it wrong is not helping move the story along to the next day.
Eric?
Good
advice. They should hire you.
In hole, stop digging.
Exactly. Good to see you. Thanks, Eric.
Thank you.